Welcome back to Whistle Watch. We'll take a good look at the England-Wales game and also as well, was the Ali Price yellow card justified? Let's get into it. Right then, let's start with a game that you've all been talking about and asking questions about, England-Wales in Twickenham. Okay, Freddie Stewart, yellow card for the tackle in the air on Josh Adams. Do we have foul play? Yes, we do. Is it dangerous? Yes, it is. Now, the difference here between a yellow card and a red card is how the referee feels, how dangerous the player had landed. So one thing is for sure, if he'd have landed on his head, we would have been looking at a red card. But because he didn't land on his head, the referee feels that the actual landing just warrants a yellow card, hence why a yellow card was given. So what you can't do is tackle a player in the air, we all know that. Liam Williams seems to score here, but the referee then gives a penalty try. So let me clear this a little bit up for you. If a try is scored, but the referee feels that the try would have been scored in a better position if it wasn't for the foul play, i.e. the tackle in the air by Freddie Stewart, then the referee will still award a penalty try even though the try has been scored. So if he felt, well, where Liam Williams scored, that's where the try would have been scored by Josh Adams anyway, then he would have just awarded the try to Liam Williams, but still a yellow card to Freddie Stewart for the foul play. But because here he probably feels that, well, if Josh Adams had caught that ball, he probably would have been able to run around a bit more, hence give an easier conversion to come. And therefore, even though Liam Williams may have scored, it is then upgraded to a penalty try to go between the post. Hope that clears up that situation for you. Now we had 2 yellow cards for Wales in this game in Twickenham as well. Nearly Christmas with all these cards. Rafael, yellow card for repeated infringement. So if the referee feels there's a lot of penalties, now it can be a sequence of maybe 2 or 3 similar penalties. So they're all happening as foul play in the breakdown, or they could be happening repeated infringements in the scrum, or for whatever the repeated infringements are. When the referee decides that there's a lot of penalties here now, what he usually does, he'll tell the captain or the players, he'll say, look, there's a lot of penalties here now. If this continues, the next one may well land up in a yellow card. So what he feels here, that there was a build-up of penalties by Wales, so Rafael then gets yellow carded for the repeated infringements. Now, if there wasn't a repeated infringement, Rafael's actions here may not mean that it merited a yellow card on its own, but there's a repeated infringements. We see the same later on in the game with Adam Beard. Because there's probably a build-up of penalties, the referee feels there's a build-up of penalties, it also then becomes a repeated infringement. So actually the Adam Beard offence maybe on its own in isolation would not warrant a yellow card, but the referee feels there was a lot of penalties. So Rafael, repeated infringements, yellow card. Adam Beard, maybe a little bit unlucky, but the referee feels there was a repeated infringements, hence the yellow card. Ali Price, yellow card. What happens here? Very similar to the Henry Arundel yellow card. Slightly different because there's a little bit further distance between Ali Price tackling the player. So although he still tackles within 10, the referee still feels that this is a professional foul, hence gives the yellow card. What happens next is very interesting. Then France move away. They score a try. But the assistant referee, who's a very, very good official and a very, very good assistant referee, like we all do when we're refereeing, sometimes we just get things wrong. Unfortunately, he puts a flag up. It shows afterwards that the foot wasn't in touch. Therefore, if he hadn't put his flag up, the try would have stood for France. But because human error happens, he has put the flag up, which means now just telling everybody the game should stop because the ball is in touch. That means the referee then cannot award the try because what everybody's thinking, the Scottish defenders are thinking, flag is up. We don't need now to tackle him maybe because he's in touch. Hence everybody stops and therefore the referee cannot allow the try because the flag has gone up. Well, there were a lot of talking points on Whistle Watch this week. I hope you've enjoyed our explanations and I hope it's helped you understand a little bit about the laws of the game and the way that the referee deals with the different scenarios that happen during the game. Right, well, that's it for Whistle Watch. Let's have a look at your Emirates fans question. This is my favourite part of the week, by the way. Why does the kickers advance in front of the penalty mark to kick for the sideline? Shouldn't the kick be taken before the penalty mark? It's been going on for the last year or so. You are right, and it's been going on for more than the last year or so. So the kicker is allowed to take the kick anywhere from the mark or behind it. What he shouldn't really be doing is taking it in front. Now look, what we don't want to be is fussy around it. So if he takes a step or so in front and it's a yard or two, it shouldn't really matter. But if he does take a couple of meters to gain an advantage from it, then it's something that the referees are aware of or should be aware of and should tell him, hey, you're too far away from the mark, come back and take it again. So a good point raised, and I'm sure that the referees will take that on board and keep an eye out for it. Is the extra roll rule applied when the tackler causes the ball carrier to roll the second time? No. So what you have, just remember now, the reason why this was brought in is when a player goes to ground in the tackle and the jackler wants to get up on the ball, what we were seeing was the ball carrier was then rolling an extra roll to prevent the jackler getting on that ball, which is quite illegally to do. So it was a ploy by the attacking team. So what the referees were directed to do, we need to be strict on this. If a player takes an extra roll, then we need to deal with it. It becomes a penalty offence, because once you hit the ground as a ball carrier, you must play the ball immediately. That means you place the ball, pass it back, but you must do it immediately. You can't take that extra roll or crawl. At Winston 74, have you found it necessary to card your bull for side entry or not coming in through the gate? From one cattle farmer to another. Thank you, Winston. Well, no, I haven't had cause to yellow card my bull for side entry, because if he did enter from the side, I don't think I'd have any calves. He needs to enter through the gate or from behind the cow. And one more question a lot of you have been asking on Twitter this week is regarding the tackle school. Now then, if a player has been on the tackle school after being sent off for an illegal tackle, he can only do that once in his lifetime. And that's it for Emirates Fans Questions. Thanks very much and keep them coming, and I'll see you next week. Now, as we're getting close to the Rugby World Cup, I thought I'd take you a trip down a little bit of a memory lane. I was very fortunate to referee in 4 Rugby World Cups, 2007, 11, 15 and 19. And here are some of my favourite memories. Well, obviously from 2007 was my debut, myself and Wayne Barnes debuting out in the World Cup in France in 2007. Oh, that's a long time ago. And probably my favourite moment from that World Cup, apart from all the lovely food and wine in France, was the opening game of the World Cup that I did, my opening game, not the opening game itself, which was Georgia against Argentina in Lyon. What a wonderful experience. After all the years of refereeing that game with some of the greats of the game playing in that game. And what a wonderful memory it was as well. In 2011, out in New Zealand, now I was fortunate to referee some great games out there, and I was also an assistant referee for the final between New Zealand and France, which was officiated by Craig Dewbear. So that was my first step into the final as an assistant referee. Some wonderful memories from those both World Cups out there. Also, my memory in 2011 was probably one of the most difficult games of my career to referee, which was the South Africa-Samoa game in North Harbour. Oh, that was some tough game to officiate. Next time we meet, I will give you my memories from 2015 and 2019. And that's it for another Whistle Watch. Don't forget to send in your Emirates Fans Questions, because they are my favourite part of Whistle Watch. See you next week. Bye-bye.